Greetings, this is Brother Dawood. Let's talk about Mckinnley Phipps, aka Mac the Camouflage Assassin. He's from Uptown New Orleans, 3rd Ward, from off of General Teller or GT. At the age of 7, Mac shared with his best friend that one day he's going to be a big rap star. By 1990, he was 13 years of age, and he coined the name Little Mac, and he released his debut album, The Lyrical Midget. The album was one of the earliest commercial hip-hop albums to come out of New Orleans, and it featured production from New Orleans producer, the one and only Mannie Fresh. The single from that album was I Need Wills, which is a remake of LL Cool J's I Need Love. If you Google Little Mac name and the title of that particular song, you'll be able to see the video, which cameoed Mannie Fresh, who you will see riding in the trolley in that same video. Mac gained the attention of several industry executives and producers. He was sought out by Master P cousin / producer Moby Dick before there was a Beats by the Pound. Moby Dick is musically inclined, and he played several instruments, and was one of the main reasons that at a later time that Mac will join No Limit Records. During the early and mid 90s, Mac was part of a group called the Psycho Ward, which was like a New Orleans type of Wu-Tang Clan. The group consisted of 28 MCs. They had a sound that separated themselves from the bounce and gangster music that was coming up from out of the city of New Orleans at that time. The group mainly focused on lyricism. Lil Mac was a member that stood out from the group, and he had the likes of Def Jam Records that wanted to sign him and wanted him to come to New York to record. But the young Mac declined and stayed home until another opportunity would come his way. In 1996, he was featured on Cash Money's BG album Chopper City, which was released February of that year on a track titled Niggas in Trouble. I remember traveling to see my family in New York during the Easter break of that year from school. I played BG's song, Niggas in Trouble. I got looked at a certain way because they never heard music like this in the tri-state area, but they liked it. It was different from what they was used to hearing, like the likes of that of B.I.G., Wu-Tang Clan, Mobb Deep, etc. But they mentioned something. They said, my man on that song sounded like Nas. I was asked to rewind the song back numerous times until my tape popped. And that same year, in October, No Limit artists Cain and Abel dropped their album titled 7 Deadly Sins, and Mac appeared on a track titled Guns and God, where he would get compared to Nas again. This time, I was in New Jersey. Cain and Abel stood out as well due to the way they rap. Cain and Abel is coined as Southern rap, but the way they speak was that of East Coast. In reality, some people from the East Coast didn't know or knew that Cain and Abel is actually from the Bronx, New York, and they moved to the city of New Orleans at a young age. So P was ahead of his time with knowing how to pair people together. P was coming in to his own with trying to open up No Limit to the East Coast and the South, because he already was at the West Coast. Then 1997 comes around, and Mac becomes an official No Limit artist. His very first single was Lockdown, which was featured on the About It movie soundtrack. But prior to signing his deal, he was in a group with a female named Storm, and they was called Mac and Storm. People would think that Storm was the same female rapper from Tupac group The Outlaws, but she was another Storm. he had plans for him and Storm, who will appear on his 1998 Shell Shock album on a song titled Camouflage Love. If this was the same Storm from the Outlaws, you know Master P would have had capitalized on it. But I can't forget to mention Max DJ Wop. He teamed up with KLC on the Shell Shock album on a track titled Empire, where Mac took a shot at the industry for talking smack on the South and mainly No Limit. I've ranked Shell Shock album up there with a lot of great hip-hop albums. Shell Shock is in my top 10 of great albums that ever came out. But come on, listen to the album. Don't listen to Boss Chick, which features Mia X. That song was fire. Then you got the track titled Beef. Then you have the other song on the album called Nobody Makes a Sound, which features Mr. Magic, a female group called 2 for 1. And then you have another track on that album titled Meet Me at the Hotel. I believe that P should have did a video for that Meet Me at the Hotel. That song have the type of vibe and feeling of that of Tupac's Live to Die in LA. That'd have been one of those songs that will be talked about today if P would have really promoted that song. But then the list goes on. But then you have 2 more songs that really hit me on that same album. That song called Slow Your Roll. And on that Slow Your Roll, he talks about a young guy and his dealings in the street and how he went to penitentiary and which was the result of his lifestyle. And then you have that Can I Ball, which features Soulja Slim. Max said on that song to Slim, he said, "You camouflage uptown, it was some to see. And when they locked you up, I continued your legacy." And we all know that Soulja Slim was known for the whole camouflage thing. And he was coined as the one who started the camouflage attire in the city of New Orleans and that soldier shit. You follow? But I should bang the hell out of that track because Can I Ball had that sound to it. That's the same beat that is remade and remixed on Mr. Cool's Ghetto Fabulous album on a track titled I'm on Fire. But Mac came off on a lot of No Limit albums. How about the Life Insurance album on that track titled Trying to Make It Out the Ghetto? And then he came off on that song Die Rich, which featured the Gambino family and Prime Suspects. Mac did the chorus of that song, but I believe he should have had a verse on it. He killed the hook. But he made his appearance felt on Master P's Ghetto Dope album. He came off on that Only Time Could Tell. He closed that song out beautifully. And then he was on that song titled Trying to Do Something. And then I remember dudes in Jersey thought Mac was from North New Jersey. He ripped it on that Riders song on the Ghetto Dope. Remember how P did the hook on that song? How he said, if you want me, come get me. I got some niggas. I got my true niggas with me and we riders. I might have said it a little bit messed up, but on that particular song, Mac comes off, he said, camouflage and all that, murder, kill, and shit. Bad nigga from the bricks, blood on my kicks. North New Jersey is known as the bricks, but the bricks Mac was referring to is those of the project bricks. From those from the South, they would know that. But Ghetto Dope is coined as Master P's best album, and the northeast part of the United States took that album in with open arms. But I can honestly say that Mac took the cake on that album from the people from the East Coast and the world. Then you had the Tank Dogs album that's supposed to came out, but the album kept getting pushed back for political reasons. Fiend mentioned on that Dirty Glove Bastards interview on YouTube that the Tank Dogs group consisted of himself, Snoop, T-Murder, Mystical, and Mac. He said they used to meet up at Snoop Mansion and record a lot of songs that he believes Snoop still have up to this day. Plus, Fiend mentioned that Pete was putting together a group or a trio which consisted of Fiend, Master P, and Mac. And he said that they had 6 songs already in the hole, but Mac was due for another album. So that's when the album World War III came out. And the single of that album was titled War Party, which featured Mr. Magic and D.I.G., 3 powerhouses on one track. This was during the time when No Limit was on a decline. This is right around the period where Master P and Beast by the Pound had a feud due to contractual differences. But another song on that album that stood out was the song called We Deadly. Many say that Master P was dissing and sending a shot at numerous people in the industry for going against No Limit and those who was leaving No Limit. But what's ironic about the album, many were saying that Mac was dissing Master P on that track called That Is Hip Hop. On the intro, the people in the background were saying, they saying No Limit is not hip hop. Then Mac will respond in that same song with lyrics. He said, in this guy video or whoever he was dissing, saying he got women with bikinis hopping out the pool. Go look at the Master P Mean Green song, Major Players video. You had video and women's in that video jumping out of the pool with bikinis on. Plus, Mac made another reference about this person saying that, do this person have a rap style of their own? P is criticized for sounding like whomever is hot at a particular time. If you don't believe me, go and listen to that track, That Is Hip Hop yourself, and do your own analysis. Now let's go into 2000. The 504 Boys album come out in May of that year. The 504 Boys group initially supposed to have been a trio which consisted of Master P, Silk, and Mystical. But there was a change, and change is coming fast. Mystical was leaving the label, and prior to the release of the Goodfellas album, and on that same year, 2000, in February, Mac was attending a open mic nightclub in Slidell, Louisiana, called Club Mercedes. A fight broke out. Someone shot a 19-year-old by the name of Baron Victor Jr. Mac was there to sign autographs and meet fans. But the authorities arrested Mac hours later after the shooting. People were saying they saw him with a gun, others were saying different. But a year later, he was convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 30 years. He had maintained his innocence up until this day. You remember the song that he did called Lockdown on the Ballad soundtrack? If you go back and listen to the lyrics of that song, he was talking about his life. But some say that was Mac speaking prophetically in that song, because the same incident that happened with him being arrested, and plus him having a child while he was locked up, this song became a reality. When he was in jail, his girl gave birth to his son. But everything that he rapped about in that song, Lockdown, became a reality. And the same thing with C Murder. If you go back and listen to on his Life or Death album, the last song called Dreams, the same situation he talked about was shooting his gun in the club, and the whole incident that happened with him with the young 16-year-old dude. It's like both of their lyrics became a reality. So you had some people that said they saw Mac fire the gun, but they recanted their claims. Then a person by the name of Thomas Williams told authorities he was the one who killed Victor. But the authorities declined his statement and said that he was trying to take the weight from Mac. Mac's family been fighting for him for years. Not just his family, but his friends and his fans. His family, they even hired a private investigator and lawyers to help with this case. Many called out Master P for not helping Mac while he was in jail, right along the same way he doing his brother C Murder, some saying. We don't know what's actually going on behind the scenes, but do you have other people that say that Mac is in jail working and laboring hard to make certain things come about? You follow? So he was denied clemency due to not including his behavior record for while he was in jail. This happened in 2016. So now him and his family is working on getting him another trial to have this whole thing overwritten so he could come home. So I say this. Mac been railroaded. And I want to say this last thing. Free the camouflage assassin. Mac. Mckinnley Phipps. Shalom. Salams. And Godspeed.